What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters. Well, this is Crafter Hours. Wait, what happened here? Welcome to Crafter Hours. This is the series of streams where we get together on Mondays and Wednesdays and try to build something new. And today we're going to build something new. Well, not really new. We're still working on the same project, the emaxpackages.com website that we started, oh, maybe what, 3 weeks ago now? Something like that. But we've been having a lot of fun writing a web application from scratch in Guile Scheme, and we're going to continue doing that today. So let me just make sure that everything is copacetic here, because I had a last-minute little technical issue. My audio device decided it didn't want to work as soon as I tried to start up the stream, but I managed to fix that. So let me just make sure everything's A-OK. Can somebody in the IRC say something in case the overlay is busted? I know somebody's there. I think Glenn's there. All right, let's see what else. Oh, let me close this. Ah, Trev. Trev is yelling. Thank you, Trev. I hope you're okay. And you have not been chased by a tiger or something equally dangerous. Okay. All right, so hello to Glenn and Trev. I see Jadzi also. Cal over on the IRC side. And then on YouTube, I see Minas Mazar, Acid Bong, Peter, and Matthias. Nice to see all of you. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, last week we didn't really get to do a second stream, unfortunately, because of child illnesses, or really just viruses in the house. That one of the kids was home the entire week. And we didn't really get much done, me or my wife, because we both work from home and we were, taking turns watching the child. So yeah, that was interesting. That was fun. It's had, these things have happened before, during COVID, the same kind of situation. So yeah, it's a little bit challenging, but the kids all better now, back to school. So we're going to get back to the normal streaming of some live coding in the mornings, which I quite enjoy. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been learning some new stuff. And as you may have seen on the Friday stream, some of what we're doing here is sort of spilling over into systemcrafters.net as well. So I'm making some changes to systemcrafters.net, kind of inspired by some of the things I'm learning from this experience, and also kind of taking care of some longer term technical debt, let's say, on the site, and just putting some things together. So I've been having a lot of fun. Hey, Yabo. So today, what we're going to try to do, in fact, let me just pull up the notes and we can take a look at it together. I don't think I've pulled it on this machine yet, but we're just going to do it live. All right, so VC dir. Why does this live stream file keep getting updated? Get these out of here. Control X VU. Yes. Let me turn on KeyCast. I'm going to mark that one. Did I not? Huh. I wonder if I didn't actually commit the stream notes one day. Okay. Probably didn't commit the stream notes. Let me just get rid of these two files then. Oops. All right. And then I'm going to pull it down. As you can see, I'm still using VC mode. It's all good. So I'm on master. That's good. All right. So let's just put these up too. Commit changes to Jan 17, 2025 show notes. Okay. Now pull it. Good. I like how VC mode automatically rebases too whenever you pull things down. So that kind of saves me a little bit of time. Now I'll push it back up. And then let's pull up the Crafter Hours file. Crafter Hours, there it is. Okay. So today, well, let's talk about last time, actually. Let's talk about last time first. Peter says, getting rid of old technical debt by creating brand new technical debt. Isn't that what we always do? Isn't that what programmers always do? I mean, we rewrite things when we really shouldn't, but I have reasons to do this. It's not like I'm just doing it for fun. Like, it is partly for fun, but, you know, I have a goal in mind. So if you will indulge me in my creation of new technical debt, it'll be fine. So last time what we did is create a basic tip authoring experience with this Datastar framework that I have been talking about last week. And if you don't know what Datastar is, it's not really so new, but it's something that I just heard about recently, and it's kind of, I think it's picking up a little bit of steam. It's an alternative to HTMX, which is they call them hypermedia frameworks, but really what they do is they kind of try to encode more stuff into HTML. Instead of using like a JavaScript framework like React, where you write a whole bunch of client-side JavaScript code, instead you have an HTML page that's annotated in a certain way that causes certain behaviors to make calls back to the back end, and then it returns fragments of HTML to then replace inside of the front end. So you have actually more control over the user experience through the back end of the application rather than the front end code, which is nice for us because it means that we can write all of our client-side UI and state management in Scheme on the server for the most part, just with some of the wiring that's provided by Datastar. So I think it's a pretty interesting approach. I'm trying it out for the projects that we're working on because it allows me to stay in Scheme and not have to write any JavaScript on the client side, which I prefer. So it's been pretty fun so far. So Datastar, on Wednesday, we hooked up Datastar into the website. We wrote a library to do the necessary server sent event format that Datastar needs to receive new fragments and state updates from the backend whenever it makes requests to the backend. So we got that implemented. We implemented some basic UI. Let me see if I can remember, excuse me, how to run the site. Let me go down there to emaxpackages.com, geeks shell -m manifest SEM scripts. Whoops. Scripts start server. Oh, come on. I hate it how Geek Shell tries to do completion for you. Okay, so localhost 8080. All right, so if I go to the package listing, I pull up Denote, let's say, and then there's a few user submitted tips, which are all just bogus data right now. But if I were to click create tip, it opens a little form here, and I can say hello world and click submit, and then it will have a new tip that has been added to the page. And all that was done actually from the back end using Datastar and just annotated HTML to make that possible. So that's what we got last time. And this time what we're going to do is continue, excuse me, I'm still getting over colds too. We're going to continue on that approach, but we're going to use it to, we're going to integrate it with user session management. So when you log in, you need to have an active session in the website so that the things that you do in your browser can be attributed to you in the backend. Also, you need to make sure that you're properly authorized to do things. So there's a few things that we'll need to do to implement that. We already have user accounts. We already have the ability to authenticate a user using their username and password. So we just sort of need to complete that whole process now by making it possible to create a user session inside the application, and then create cookies that go to the browser so that the browser then tells the server, hey, this is the session ID for the currently logged in user. And then the server backend could then decide whether the user is actually logged in or not, and then do things on their behalf. So those are the kinds of things we'll be doing today. We'll also take a look briefly at how we would implement middlewares in Scheme, which some of you probably already have an idea in mind about how that would be done. But a middleware in a typical web framework or HTTP server, web server framework is kind of like a function that gets run in the middle of the request pipeline to do things like user authentication, or at least checking a user session is valid before it allows you to continue to load a page. And other things like that too. But we'll do that in a basic way in this stream as the way that we do the authorization of a user that is trying to access a particular page, and make it easier so that this kind of behavior doesn't have to be written in every handler, in every page, let's say, that needs to authenticate the user before it gets rendered. So we'll see a few different things here. It should be fun. I don't think it will be that hard, so that's good. Yabo says, debt is such an ugly word. Investment. Yeah, it's an investment. It can be an investment into pain and suffering too, but I'm going to consider what I'm doing more of an investment in my happiness and long-term satisfaction, maybe. Hello to Erky. Okay, let's get going. Oh, first of all, I forgot. I need to check out some PRs. Emacs packages. Sorry, folks, I keep doing that. So there's a couple things that Apurvi, sorry, sent as pull requests in the last week that I want to take a look at real quick. So the first one is using the built-in get opt long procedure in Guile, which handles command line option parsing for you, which is kind of nice. That one good thing about Guile is that it has a lot of stuff built in. Cal says, investment in happiness and long-term satisfaction. Chug. Yes, that's right. That's why I'm drinking Monster also, so that I can actually stay awake and be somewhat coherent today. So Guile provides a lot of useful stuff like this built in, which is great. And this is another example of one of the things that we can get out of that. So this change seems to merge together the two scripts that we have so far for starting the server and also syncing the package archives to put it into the source/main.sem file. There is a show usage function which shows all the parameters, and then the option specs for defining what the options are. So you have to put together these specifications for the actual options. I don't know if you can see it because of my head being in the way. How about can I do this unified view? Yeah, there we go. That way you don't have to dodge my head. You have to put together these lists of symbols, basically, and values to define what the actual options are for the command. And then whenever you parse the arguments, you use get up long with that option spec that you created, and then you can use option ref to pull out the values of those options. I don't know if you need to put the defaults here, though, if you've already put the defaults here, but I'm not sure exactly why or what it would be otherwise. So let's see. Oh, I missed a message before. Arnav says, gotta say, I'm loving the morning streams from India. Way more accessible, 1 p.m. over here. Yeah, definitely. I think this time works better for certain people in the world that can't see the usual Friday stream. So I'm definitely happy about that. Okay, we got that. What was the other thing? Starting the server, command line, db sync. This is in what? Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me think about this for a minute. We probably do need to have this somewhere like that. I'm not sure how crazy I am about getting rid of the script files, though. Let me see if I can articulate myself on why. Having a main.scm file is fine, but when you deploy it with Geeks, you would probably end up having a generated script file anyway, or pull one of the script files that you already have as the starting script for launching it with Shepherd. I mean, sure, it could be main.scm. I mean, I guess I don't have a strong reason not to, other than just that it kind of makes more sense to have it be start server. The main file is not a script, so we'd have to manually launch main.scm, and I think that's what Upward V says here, yeah, source main.sem/h. Oh, it would have to be Guile also here, because that's not a script currently. Let's see. So resync database. What are the options? Oh, wait. Because these are kind of separate things. I don't know that you would necessarily want to do all of them at the same time. I mean, I guess you could run -r-s, run the server and sync the database first or something. But it's a cond here, so it's only going to do one of them. So they're kind of mutually exclusive. These are not really so much options as they are, a couple of them are commands. And one of them is an option. I mean, I would say that you don't even really need resync because you have -s and -d. So I wonder if I would proceed with this. Any thoughts in the chat? Should this be merged together into one entry point, or should it remain two separate scripts that have their own options? Because what it would be otherwise is we would still stick with the two existing scripts, and then they would have their own options. And which this already had it. It just wasn't using get opt long, which I guess it feels like it doesn't really need to because we've already got match-based handling here. So I don't know. I'm conflicted. I appreciate the contribution, but at the same time, I don't really know if it is a net positive. Yeah, it could be subcommands. We could certainly be subcommands. I don't remember if get opt long supports subcommands. So get opt long. Guile. Yeah, it's just options. Yeah, such flags that drastically change the operation or hassle later, says Erky. Yeah, I think it needs to be clear what goes with what. I think that you would have to do your own checking for the subcommand style. Excuse me. Pac-Man style flags. You mean like the merging them together, having like a -SYU? The manual man says, "Are you using i3WM?" This is Sway, and this is GNU Geeks. Get up long will recognize the Apple's option. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced on that one. Let's say. Let's look at the next one. All right, so replace the basic logger with a Guile's logging logger library. Well, is it built in? I thought it was in Guile lib. Yeah, it's part of Guile lib, so it's not technically built in. Jazzy says subcommands can be received with option ref ops func as a list of strings which are not options. Plain log format, colored log format, setup logging. I mean, that's a lot of code just to set up something that we didn't need before. Not sure how much of a net positive it is. So let me tell you what my thoughts are on logging. Logging frameworks that allow you to have a lot of options on where logs go. For a server program, I don't really think are really that helpful because I think it's better for a server program to just write out everything to either standard out or standard error, and then let the server manager program, like Shepherd in this case, handle saving the logs, because Shepherd can actually do saving the standard out, standard error to a file for you for the logs, and also I think it can do log rotation as well. So GNU shepherd log rotation. Yeah, so it can do that. Or at least Shepherd 1.0 can do that. So I kind of feel like we don't need to have a logging library that does anything other than just produce useful logs. Like the one that AppleV already wrote is like that. It's quite good as far as log output is concerned. So I don't know that we get a whole lot of benefit, especially now that it kind of requires us to have guile lib included. And I don't see that being put into the manifest file here, which makes me wonder if he's got guile lib already on his profile or something. Hey, Daphne. Daphne says, parsing command line options, shameless self-promo. Let POSIX use the RS6 RS version for guile, else you'll have conflicting condition types. Let's take a look at that real quick. Codeberg.org/dpk/let POSIX. POSIX GNU style command line option parsing and scheme. Sounds like it's like a let binding, which is kind of cool. Let POSIX options, input, expression, options, body. All right, here's an example. Cool. I like that. Coder command line, yep. Show help, show version, verbosity. Config file, is there, okay, yeah, it looks like there's a way to do short flags as well. Okay, makes sense. Character literals. Index file names, index, opt list. That's sweet. It's already bound. It's a lot cleaner and simpler than what they were doing in what get opt long has you do, basically. At least it looks like to be that way. That's pretty awesome. Is this packaged anywhere? See ya, Yabo. Let's see what Geek says. Probably not, though. I need to update my config here. Fancy term. I don't know how long ago I pulled this either, so it may be out of date. No, it's not in the Geeks. But it could be. I could also package it myself inside the project if I had to. That's awesome. Thanks for pointing that out, Daphne. It looks cool. Does it do subcommands? Probably not. Subcommands like get status, things like that. Or geeks pull. We'll keep that in mind, though. So, anyway, I'm hesitant to accept either of these at the moment just because of that. Because look at this. Look how much extra work we have to do just to plug in what he already did into the logging logger library from guilelib. I just feel like for this kind of project, which is not like a desktop application, like if it was a desktop app, maybe you don't want to spam standard out with log information every time the user runs a program. But in many cases, the user doesn't see that anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter. But for a server application, I think you would always want to spam standard out because you're going to have something that's launching that process for you to manage it, like systemd or shepherd or some other thing, you know? So you're going to have something else consuming the log output and then doing something with it. So I don't really think we need a more elaborate library. Peter says structured logging is nice, though. Structured in which way? You mean like writing it out in a parsable format, like JSON or something? Because I can agree with you there. Definitely makes it a bit harder to read if you're just trying to read the log output, but I guess it depends. I mean, maybe what we have now is close enough to structured, because you could parse this with the regex and get the info out. So I don't think UpReview's here, so I'll talk to him on IRC about that later. But yeah, I'm happy to see the contributions, though. Trev, where you at, man? Why haven't I seen any pull requests from you, Trev? Come on, man, get back to work, dude. You got a job to do here. I'm just kidding. I'm happy to see anybody contribute who wants to contribute. I'm not. Yeah, I see you. I see you, Trev. I'm not pressuring anybody to contribute. This is all for fun anyway. Peter says, yes, like semicolons or whatever. Jason disappeared. You definitely don't want to have too much Jason in the terminal. But, you know, with tools like JQ, I think it can be pretty easy to turn that into something readable. The manual man says, I broke up with my girlfriend because she wasn't POSIX compliant. Well, I don't know. Maybe you should have some different guidelines for relationships, because that might not work out too well. I know it's just a joke, though. Okay. I know it's just a joke. All right, let's get to it. So we're going to get into the code base. Oh, God. You see all the times I'm pressing bindings here and nothing happens because ANSI term just eats it all. And you're probably thinking to yourself, why are you using ANSI term? Because I'm trying not to use external packages like an idiot. Okay. So let's start. What's the best place to start? So we need to have a way to manage sessions. Let's see, where is our user stuff? Oh, I'm in the wrong project anyway. So emacspackage.com, users, model's good enough. Adam Fighter says, like the Taz versus Spaces scene from Silicon Valley. Yes. Hello to Adam Fighter. Okay. That is right, actually. Wasn't there some kind of like Emacs versus Vim argument in that show between a male and female character at some point? Or maybe that was the Taz versus Spaces one. I haven't watched all of that, though, so I don't remember. All right, so we got our existing code that we had for creating users and then authenticating them. So now we need a way to manage sessions. So where are we in all this? Site models. I'm going to say site session.scm. We're just going to start up another little library here. Define module, site session. And what do we need for this? Let's see. So we might want to make a session. Yeah, I guess probably I should. Should I have a record type, or do I even need it? I mean, what is a session after all? A session would be the ID, which is something that shouldn't be guessable by the client, right? So it's gonna have to be like a GUID or UUID. The user ID, let's say. And also I would say an expiration time. So that's probably it, right? So maybe we do need a record for that. I'm just trying to think of the way to make it easy to search. So I think that I would define a record for just the two values that are contained in the session, and the ID itself can just be external information that goes into the A list that we're going to store. Because what I'm thinking is that, just to be simple for now, maybe later we'll do something different, but for now we'll just keep an A list. Trev says, I thought you would do OAuth with Mastodon or GitHub, not this 90s stuff. We will eventually do OAuth, because there is actually a Guile OAuth 2 library, so we can do that. I just haven't gotten there yet, okay? But do we want to be logging into the Emacs website with GitHub? I mean, maybe we would, but not so sure. One nice thing that could come out of logging in with your GitHub account is if the website can automatically identify you as the author of certain packages just because of the GitHub URL. So it might be interesting from that perspective, just to sort of authenticate you as the owner or author of certain Emacs packages, so that you can maybe change the metadata for those packages or whatever, or threaten people who leave negative reviews about your package and blackmail them to pay you to not remove their review. I don't know. I'm just kind of coming up with stuff here. Peter says, store a JOT token in a cookie. I thought about doing JOT tokens. There actually is a Guile JWT library. I don't know if I want to go that far just yet. I mean, I guess the question is, why not? I don't know. It's just more complexity. But it's fine. you can store information in there, which is kind of nice from the perspective that you don't have to store it in the server also. So maybe that's one benefit of using Jot instead. Because you can just put all the details inside of the token and then decrypt the token on the server side. You can see what the expiration is on it. You can see what the user is, whatever information. Because obviously we're just kind of just shoving an A-list into this Jot token, which obviously is not an A-list in the end, but it looks like that in terms of the code. Generate a Jot and the other to verify it. Decodes given Jot. Returns an A-list with a payload. Okay, maybe we should do this. Because we don't have to do any extra work, really. All right, Peter, you convinced me. All right, so let's just pause that right now. We still need it. But I'm going to go into the manifest file. I'm going to add the Guile Jot dependency. And let's see. Where are we with the actual login UI? Did I have a login UI? I had a view. Is your detail view? Nope. Did I not have a login page somewhere? Login. There we go. Views, login. All right, so login form view. This was like the previous way we did things with like a normal HTML form, but I think we can change this now to use, use Datastar in a different way instead. So kind of what I'm thinking is, in the header of the website, which we currently don't have, somewhere up here you would have a login link or a login button. And if you're actually logged in, it would show your username instead, so that you can kind of tell that you're logged in. Pretty typical for a website, right? Adam Fighter says, any good resource for mastery of Guile? Well, check out the link that keeps showing up on the bottom of the screen there. I have this course on Guile. So systemcrafters.net/learn-scheme. You'll see some info about the hands-on Guile scheme for beginners course. So specifically about Guile, we'll cover a lot of the things that we do in the streams. Go from the basics, the fundamentals of scheme, let's say, the fundamentals of functional programming, and then go into practical application development with Guile. All right. I need to make some more stuff on that too, because there's a lot more that I want to cover now. So, if I were to do this, Manual Man says, seems like your operating system is hardened insofar as all of your packages are locked into a semi-stable version, so you're unlikely to have a dependency issue if a package breaks. Yes. That's an important trait I look for in girlfriends. Uh-huh. Well, stability in relationships is important, I guess you could say. So, in the template, the SEM, we have our body with a container. We can have a div here for the login stuff. We also need to start adding like a navigation header and things of that nature, but we just haven't gotten there yet. I don't know if this is going to be it. Or how about this? User profile. Sure. All right. Now there's two things we want to do here. We also need to establish the state for the user ID. So check this out. Datastar.dev. I need to pull up the docs on this to make sure I do it right. In fact, I probably already have it. Excuse me. In the tips page. Use tips. No, this is the package page. So we set up the state right here, data signals, okay? So I need to copy this little bit there. and then jump back over to template.sem. Now, there's something else I need to do as well. There's something about persistence in here. Persistence. Come on now. Offline sync. That's cool. Didn't know that was possible. Persist all signals in local storage. Data persist. Okay. So we need to go to the attribute reference. Persist signals in local storage, useful for storing values between page loads. If one or more space-separated values are provided as a string, only those signals are persisted. So I'm going to put that in here as well. And it says what now? Space-separated values. So this is going to be user ID. And this is going to be user ID. And then we don't need the rest of this, so we'll just move forward here and delete that. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're creating some application state in the client, which lets us store the user ID. Why am I doing this? Because I need a way to show the user ID of the currently logged in user and also indicate that the user is logged in on the client side, just for the sake of presentation. It doesn't really help at all for authentication. It's only for showing up the user's information in the UI. Also could be used for generating a link to click to go to their profile, that sort of thing. So here we are in the div that would show this information. There's a couple things we can do. So there's the data show, which allows us to say whether to show something if a piece of information is available or not. So what we can do is say div data show, whoops, user ID. And this works because when you define a signal, which is some state for the application, in the UI as a whole, you can refer to it using an expression. And this expression is only just getting the value of user ID. And if it has something in it that's not like empty, like an empty string, let's say, then this evaluates true, which makes this whole div be shown. Otherwise, it will not show up. So I'm just going to say logged in, just simply that for now. The other is going to be the opposite. So data show user ID is, let's see, it is empty. So we're showing this only if it's empty. All right, so we've done that. And let's see, I'm going to the... Server's still running, right? Okay, server's still running. I'm going to use Geyser to connect. We're in the REPL. I'm going to reevaluate this expression. And we'll see if the page actually shows that now. Reload. All right, we got a little error here. Let's see what the error is. Bad attribute div class. I did something wrong in the code here somewhere. Yeah, okay, got it. Forgot to wrap this. Okay, now we've got it and it says not logged in, okay? Pretty easy, right? Hi says, wait, the site is all eLisp? No, it's scheme, Guile scheme. What did Cal say? The SXML to XML disregard to naming convention is bothering me. What do you mean? Okay, so it says not logged in, which is good because we're not logged in. I will fix the styling of this to make it move over to the right side and stuff later. Not really that worried about it right now. Okay. So that's the start of it. Next, we need to actually implement logging in. Oh, and I need to restart the server anyway because I need to pull in that new dependency just to make sure it's there. That's just the beauty of Geeks, right? You add a new dependency, your list of dependencies, and you use Geeks shell to run your application. It will automatically pull in the new dependencies, set it up, and then you're ready to go. All right, so we got that in. Let me just reconnect to the REPL. So we have that. So go back to Geyser Guile REPL, Control C, Control Z. There we go. We're back in. So that was adding the thing to the template header. Now we need something that will give us that information. So if we click on it, maybe it should be a link to send us the login. So ahref, whoops, wrong one. Is it just slash login? Is that what I had done before? Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's a better way to do this. We could kind of do a little login pop-up, but I don't really want to do kind of pop-up style stuff in the UI right now. So yeah, we can just redirect to the page. So there we go. There's that. There's that. There's that. Reload. Reload. Click login. Goes to the login page. Okay. See how we're doing that? That's interactive development of a website with Scheme, buddy. That's good stuff. All right. So now on the login page, we've got our existing form view. We don't really have to do it the same way anymore. And we shouldn't, because to get the benefit of Datastar, we can't do it the previous way. We need to use the Datastar approach for this. We don't need a form anymore in the same way. We can get rid of the actual form on the outside. Let me just do this a more sensible way here. All right. So we have our div h1 login, if message, oh yeah, that can also be changed. Because that could be something that comes from, excuse me, the response, like a state value. We'll think about that in a moment. All right, so username, text, password, and then submit. Now we had a button over in the package view, something like that. All right. Okay, so here, we don't need the data show because it's always going to be shown, but data on click. Oops. Yeah, we need the post, right? There we go. So now we're changing the way that we invoke the post. And when it's post, we're going to return a different type of response. So where's the Datastar stuff? It's in datastar.sem. So we're going to use module Datastar. Let me make sure I remember the format here. Merge fragments and merge signals. Hello to Peter over on the IRC side. All right. So what we need to do when user is authenticated, do the following. Create jot token, send back as cookie. Send back fragment or JS to invoke a redirect. What else? Send back a signal. Yes, to set the user ID. And I hope that when we set that signal, it will persist it before it does the redirect so that it shows up on the next page whenever it gets loaded up. We're going to find out real fast whether that's the case or not. So query params, we don't really need the query param parsing anymore because this is going to be different. It's going to be JSON form, I believe. If we go back and look at the package view code, where was it where we did the handling for that? Index view, render tips or package. Packages a tips. It's in here. Package tip action handler. Okay. Oh, and we need to bind these two signals as well. So let's pull this too. And go back to login. Inside of this post is where we need to put these things. So I'm gonna just drop this right here. All right, so we need to pull the signals out. That's fine. Tip content. So username and password. Peter says jot tokens are really nice to separate authentication from authorization. They're all crazy complex flows, but usually there's good library support for jot tokens and apps. Yeah, we definitely have that for Guile, at least, thankfully. Okay, what am I missing here? There we go. So merge fragments, merge signals, that's all good. Query params, username, password. Kind of need to hold on to that query parameter parsing stuff though for later. Just pull that out to have it for later. Okay, so now it's all basically the same logic. Just grab that whole S expression and put it up here. Boom. So render page. Yeah, so normally we would have rendered an interstitial, more or less. We have gone back to the page. And so they were logged in successfully. I see, yeah. It's not recommended practice is send it on each request, but I think it's fine on initial implementations until session management is needed for other stuff. So what would you do? Like, just have an ID to index it on the server? I mean, the jot token is opaque. I don't really see why we shouldn't send it on every request as part of a cookie, but maybe there's a reason. Fikri says, JavaScript on the front end since you're using JSON. Well, we're using a framework called Datastar, which is handling some of that stuff. All right. So now, logged in successfully. Username or password was incorrect. We're going to change this stuff. So if user password match, then we will send back a couple of things. So let me just grab this expression. Whoops. Well, sure. Why not? Redirects. As part of SSE updates, you may want to redirect user to a different page. Okay, yeah. You can use the execute script SSE event to set the window location. Fine. I'll do that. In fact, Just send it back to the home path. Okay, and we're also going to merge signals in. We're not going to merge any fragments. We don't need to. Peter says the reasoning is that you can collect information about the certificate used to sign the token, and there's a risk it might be intercepted and used for other things. I think it's more of a theoretical best practice than a real-world vulnerability. Yeah, okay. So we'll just stuff it into the cookie for now, but I'll definitely take the feedback under advisement that there could be some trouble there. User ID would be username, I think, right? I need to go back and look at our schema to see if username was unique or if it was name. Name is the primary key. Cool. Great. There we go. There we go. Great. Now, if the user was not successfully authenticated, instead of changing the page, we can send back a signal to say that the username or password was incorrect. So let's do that also. Check this out. Nope, that one. Thank you. All right. Whoa. Actually, you're right. I should fix that first, then copy. My fingers are getting a little tangled here in the key bindings. Don't ask me why. Okay, so in this case, we're going to... Whoa, wait a minute. I think I missed a parenthesis. Okay, now, we're going to merge signals. Get rid of that. Message. Login message, let's say. I don't know. I shouldn't have gotten rid of that string, though. There we go. Username or password was incorrect. Fine. Okay. There we go. Delete a couple of those. Got that back. All right, so now we have message here. We're also going to add signals, data signals. Okay, so we got a signal here. And we're going to do another little... This is an H3. Okay, fine. I thought we had something nicer than that, but I guess we don't. H3. Data show. Login message. And then... how do I get the content then? There's like a data text or something, I think. Yeah, data text in a div. Okay, got it. That should be enough. Should be. So we got login message that starts as an... maybe I should change that to login error message to be more specific. Whoops. Let me know if the text is too small also. Hey, M. Okay, so username and password was incorrect. Line is getting a little bit long here. Let's just try to bust that down some. Okay. So we've rewritten this now. I can reevaluate these two expressions JSON string to scheme. JSON string to scheme. I'm not pulling in the JSON library here. Hey, David. David says, have you ever used auto insert mode? I'm not sure. Okay, so that's reloaded now. Let's go back and see if we can go log in with this new behavior. Let me check the console and the inspector. Okay, so we got Datastar here. So it is, oh, wait, the form is not visible. Render login form. We don't need the message anymore, and I think we could probably just drop this straight in. Oh, that's probably why it didn't work, because I never re-evaluated the render form. Sorry, the login form. Render page. I know it's getting a little bit ugly here. So let's go and make sure that we've got this closed off correctly. That looks fine. Okay, whoa. Why did it hide the login form? Something's wrong. Is there no error in the console? Source map error? Okay. I don't need that. Style display, none. It literally did not show the login form at all for some reason. Let's, I don't know if it's gonna matter or help. It shows for a second, and then it disappears, as if... I wonder if it's because I didn't put anything inside this element. Let's try that. Yeah, I've seen that happen before with SXML. Like, it does weird stuff whenever you don't put content inside of an element that needs to have a... what do you call it? Closing tag? And can you imagine an Emacs version without it? I guess so, because I don't know if... Are you talking about, like, with the quotation marks? Like, you write a quotation mark and it puts the one after? Because clearly I don't have that on. All right, so div. We probably don't need the div now. That was only there just to validate a theory I had. But I don't know. Maybe it doesn't hurt. Let's leave it just for the sake of organization. All right, so... It's now being displayed. I don't remember the username or password that we had created before. David couldn't get it to work. Yeah, I haven't really tried. So. Do I have anything in the user models or listing users? So I really do not remember what user we had created. I suppose I could just create one though. So create user DB password. Are we hashing the password? Okay, I'll just create one so that we have one. Was it site models users? Site models users. Create user. I mean, yeah, I'm rolling my own. It's probably not the best thing to do, but whatever. We're just doing it. Create user tables. Sorry, create user. And what is the... I think it was DB and init. Oh, I probably need to use DB too. was it? DB open. There you go. All right, so number 7. Create user. Number 7. There we go. And it was what? Name, password, full name. Okay, so name, password, bad password. That's the password. Full name, email. All right, so we created a new user. And we should be able to log in with that user. So let me try that real quick. So actually, let's try it without putting in the right password first. The label needs to be changed here. Boom. Let's see what the backend says. Wrong type argument in position 1, expecting string. String to UTF-8. User password match. String to UTF-8. And where was that? And calling make password hash, potentially? Line 25. Wait, what? Oh, models users. Yeah, that's the right location, but why is it saying user password match? Login form view. The line numbers seem all screwed up. Login form view. Okay, all right. Oh, I screwed up. Okay, so look at this. I forgot to put in the form the additional signals for username and password. Okay, so now on the input fields, I need to see how to bind those. Data bind. Input, data bind. Okay. Got it. We don't really need these either, do we? Don't really need that either, do we? Okay, that should be enough. Now, we do need type password on that one for sure. Okay, reevaluate, unbalanced parentheses. Where did I get it wrong? There. Okay, now go back to the login page. Okay, now create tip. Okay, username or password was incorrect. Good. So we didn't move from this page. It just set that message, which is good. Let me change this. Okay, log in. Now I'm going to say David Will. Bad password. Still says username or password was incorrect, which is not correct. Let's see. Unless I'm doing something wrong or I typed the password wrong, which is also possible. Let me just log this out. So log info. Do I have a logger here? Yep. This is going to be excellent for security. Okay. Yeah, it's the values that I said it was. David Will, bad password. And it tells me that it didn't match. Ooh. That's because I did not wrap that correctly. That's a real parenthesis problem. Hit login. Okay, so that worked. I did set that signal. I don't know why it's not loaded. Merge signals, user ID, username. Okay, so let me think about that for a minute. I saw it change. I think I saw it change. Like up in the UI, up here at the top, it did change. I don't know why it didn't persist though. Data persist, user ID. Can I check like local storage? Datastar. I don't see any values in here. Like it didn't store what I told it to store. Do I need to do anything else? Key is provided, it uses the key in saving in storage, otherwise Datastar will be used. Well, it's not in there, buddy. What I'm wondering is if the data signals thing that I'm doing is like overwriting it or something. Merge multiple signals using a set of key value pairs. Modifiers, if missing. Ah, there we go. We do need that. So, is this what I need? That's a little bit ugly. But fine, whatever. Okay, so signals. Where is our user ID signal? Data signals. User ID. If missing, all lowercase. All right, so that should take care of that. And I will now reevaluate that. We're gonna have to log in one more time. Oh, it says logged in. No, wait. Something's wrong here. I don't know what I just did. I don't know if I trust it. It says logged in, but I don't know if I trust it. Let's see. Oh, wait. I didn't actually pull the value either, so... Okay. Huh. Errors. Data text in which page? This one? Okay. User ID. Signals user ID if missing. Okay, what expression did it not like? User ID is not defined. What do you mean it's not defined? It's here. data signals, user ID, if missing. What's in the storage? Not there. Huh. It acts as if it's not found. Still throwing errors. User ID is not defined. That's the thing, though. So I can't set it because otherwise I'm going to overwrite it. But maybe maybe I have to do it this way. Let's see. It's still complaining. What the hell is your problem? I wonder if the way I'm doing this in the attributes is wrong. Div class. Okay, I don't see where the signal is being defined. Okay, so that made it happier, it seems. Oh, okay, it worked this time. Who the hell knows why? And if I go look at the storage and look at local storage, user ID David Will. Good. Okay, so at least we have an indication that we're logged in. But that's just information that's stored in the client. It's not useful for authentication. We have to keep moving on that front. So, let's see. Probably need a way to log out too, but maybe we won't worry about that just yet. So now that we did that, we also need to send back a cookie containing a token that can be used for authentication or authorization, right? So in login.sem, we need to create a JOT token and send that back as part of the response. And that's kind of a problem too, isn't it? Oh, I guess not, because we can send the cookie back in the header of this. So let's see. How to return cookie from HTTP request or response, let's say. No. Cookie name value HTTP header to the request. Set cookie. All right. Server store cookies in the client browser by returning set cookie name equals value HTTP headers in the response. So then what we need this is going to be, and we're going to backquote that. So user set or session token equals, and this is going to be the JOT library. So that is JWT encode. We'll just do that for the moment. But we're going to need to put an expiry in there too. For secret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we're going to have to change that for sure. But let's just try that first. I don't know what it wants for secret, but let's just see. Can I actually just do that? Let's test it in the REPL real quick. So use JWT. All right, JWT encode. Okay, so that actually gave us something, and in fact, we could try to do JWT decode. And what's the signature for that? Number 9. If you don't know about this, in the Guile REPL, whenever you run an expression, when you run an expression in the REPL, it will save that value into a variable that says right here, $9. That's actually a variable. It's a binding in the REPL session. You can pull it back again. And then the same secret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Username David Will. So we got the A list right back, which is great. That means we can decode the information that's in that token and use it. Now, probably need to go into session and make procedures for this so that we don't cause trouble for ourselves. All right, so define make session token, username. That's good enough. Token secret. Load this from an environment variable so that it's not something that's checked into the code that anybody can just go hack by looking at the source code. All right, so now we're going to say JWT, can't even type today, encode. So let's see. Expiration, duration, offset. All right, how about that? Guile get Unix time. Time object, time to seconds. There must be another way to do that in Guile. Time. Current time, number of seconds, fine, good. So, how long? So like a day, 5 days, 3 days, 3 times 24 times 60 times 60. Am I right about that? Okay. So we need to use okay, got that. Token secret, whatever. All right, expiry, whatever. Plus current time expiration offset. I guess I didn't need to break that down to another line, did I? Okay, make session token. I should be able to call that by going into site session, and calling make session token David Will. And we got a token. Cool. Now, token. I keep typing Jew, which is very strange. My fingers go in that direction. JWT decode. Token and then token secret. There we go. Now decode session token number 11. That gives me back the A list, which is great. Maybe I'll say expiration. Expires at. How about that? That's better. Should it be username, user ID? Who knows? I need to get my terminology straight. Okay. So that's a way to send that back, and we should be able to then use this procedure. If I go to pull that in, use module site session. Good, got that. And then right over here, where was it? Oh, yeah, I screwed that up. Let's take that out. That was the wrong place to put it. And now I'm going to go down to the response when we log in successfully. I'm going to drop that in right there, and then I'm going to backquote this. And where we call jot encode, I'm going to instead say make session token with username. And that should take care of that. Unbound variable, make session token. I need to reevaluate the define module here and then reevaluate the function. Make session. Oh, I didn't export it. No wonder. Should I just use define public? There we go. Reeval. Go back over here, reeval. There we go. Got it. So now I should be able to reload the page. I'm going to go to login anyway. Okay. Login. Now there's an error. I can tell because nothing happened. Throw key to bad response. Bad value for header. Set cookie true? Shouldn't be true. Format T, session token A. Okay. Do I need to lowercase these? I don't know if it just doesn't like them whenever I uppercase them. Let's try it again. Still. Bad value for header. Okay, something is wrong. Is that right? Probably should set an expiration on the cookie too, right? Cookie name equals cookie value. I mean, what's wrong? Should I use a semicolon at the end? I don't think I should, though. Capability snob says sessions not feeling bold enough to try capabilities. I don't think that I can do that so easily just yet. But at least your suggestion is on brand, capability snob. All right. What does it not like? Let me just grab this. I'm pretty sure this is not a malformatted string. Does it not like the text that's in there? Maybe there's like a $sign, some other stuff in it. Do they need to be encoded somehow? Any US ASCII character excluding control characters. That's fine. White space, double quotes, commas, semicolons, and backslashes. So it can have periods. Many implementations perform percent encoding on cookie values, not required by the RFC. Percent encoding does help satisfy the requirements of characters for cookie value. Okay, so do we need to do an encoding on this? I haven't seen it before. Can optionally be wrapped in double quotes. Double quotes, commas, semicolons, and backslashes. I mean, $signs should be fine. Period should be fine. But I guess it depends on what Guile's validate headers is thinking. Bad value for header. I don't know why it says set cookie true, though. Let's pull this up. Let's see in login. Oh, whoa. It is saying true. Did I screw up? I'm pretty sure we saw a session return the value. Ah. Should be format false. My mistake. Okay, let's try that again. All right, so we redirected now. Let's check DevTools, cookies, session. Okay, we got our session token here in the cookies. Boom, good. That is session token, right? So now that should be getting sent back to the server every time we make a request, and we should be able to tell what the user is whenever they are making requests to the server. So I'm gonna take a 2-minute break, and we're gonna come right back, and we're gonna implement the middleware necessary for authenticating or authorizing, let's say, a user to a given route. So we'll be right back, 2 minutes, maybe less. All right, let's get back to it. So we've got the session token being stored in a cookie, and now we can start reading that cookie back out again. So if we, let's see, what's the best way to do this? Maybe even in session, define public, authorized, let's say. But maybe we don't need to do it this way. Maybe it needs to be at a higher level. So in routes, I'm creating the context. Come on, can I type context? Context, no. Is it in server? Server. Make context. Now, I might be able to pull that header out because there should be a cookie header. Let me check the Guile web request library docs. I should be looking at this in Emacs in info mode. I know, but whatever. Headers. Headers. Okay, so let's see. Maybe this will be a Let's Star. Session token. So we're gonna get the request headers out. Probably just an A list. And I'm gonna guess it's gonna have more than one, potentially more than one cookie header in it. Because I think there's one cookie header per cookie, potentially. Cookie. And Guile does not give us cookie support built in. We kind of have to do it ourselves, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that. Yeah, so it could be either one cookie header per pair, or it could be multiple pairs in one header. So we would have to support both. I don't really want to go too far with this. For now, I'm just going to make the assumption that it would be a string like this that has multiple cookies, okay? So in server, read cookies, request, let's just say request. We'll pull it directly from the request. So let maybe we don't need to do that. Let me think about this for a moment. Filter. Well, it's not even a filter either. It would be a sock ref. And that would give us the presumably one cookie. So to do support multiple cookie values. Well, I mean, maybe we can do multiple cookie values here. So let all right, we got that. So we got the cookie value now. Map cookie. We're gonna split it on the equal sign. Character predicate. So the thing is, aside from splitting the string, we need to clean up the, excuse me. Let me think about this for a moment. Hey, Carswell's coat. It's live. Now I can use system crafters to keep regular hours. It's the gift that keeps giving. Is it helping? Okay, so KVP string split, cookie, and we just want to clean up the values. So match, do I have match in here? In fact, we could do this. Make it a little bit more concise. It's a list, right? Yeah, it's a list. Key value. That should be all it is. Const. String trim key. I don't know if both of them need it, but whatever. That can actually just. No, it can't be a match lambda. Okay, so it needs to be a lambda. So we got that. So we're splitting the cookie string. And we're going to split on cookie value on the semicolon. Okay. Kind of don't want to. Yeah. I want to make this testable in the REPL. All right, so cookies, parse cookies. We also need to put this as an OR with an empty string, because it could return false. And then here, session token would be a sock ref cookies. So that should do it. All right, there we go. And then cookies could be potentially an empty list. So a sock ref would return false here. Great. Got it. That can also work. We're going to have to restart the server for that. That's okay. All right. Parse cookies, request headers. Request headers. Did I not evaluate that? What's your problem? Oh. Web request. Request match key value. I need to put in ICE9 match as well. Request. Yeah. That fixes that, and that fixes that. So in the REPL, Geyser Guile REPL. Come on now. Hello. That was me being stupid. Tab history back. There we go. I'm hitting Control X 0 instead of Control X O like I should have been. Just Plain and simple silliness. M site server. We're going to jump into that module. So parse cookies. Cookie value. A equals 2. B equals 3. Session token equals this value right here. All right, A to B3 session token. Looks like that parses the cookies correctly, so we should be able to get that out. This needs to be a string now. To pull the value out correctly. So I think we're good. If I restart the server, we should be able to see that session token come through. So let's do that. I'm going to go back into ANSI term, kill it, restart it, go back into the REPL, and reconnect just to have that ready. All right. And then if I reload the main page, let's go check out the ANSI term output, session token. Boom, there it is. So we got it. Session token is being pulled in. The next thing we need to do is update our context object to have an authenticated user field. Or the token details itself, or session, let's just say session. How about that? Because that's the A list of information that's in there. Okay, so now we've got an extra field on context, which needs to have a parenthesis added to the end. We also need context session. Good. We probably also need to try to deal with session expiration. But maybe that's the thing that gets done in the middleware. Okay, so I'll just take that out because we have it for now. We know that it's there. Wrong number of arguments in form. Okay, so make context now needs to take the session token that has been session. Yeah, and session token. And what is it? Decode session token. Session token. So what we're saying is if there's a session token, decode it. Otherwise, this value is going to be false. So session here. Possibly unbound variable. We need to pull in the site session module. Okay, so that's good now. We can restart the server one more time. Then go restart the REPL. Reload the page. I think that our output should be better now because we're not writing the session token out. And now we have the session token available in our context, which means that we can easily try to authenticate a particular route. So how do we do that? So do we want like /profile to be the page that we look at to look at the current user's profile? What is the right URL path to say for looking at a given user's profiles? I mean, sorry, you're looking at your own profile. We already have users/DavidWill, I think. Yeah. So we have that already, but that isn't exactly what we need. I mean, we could have that. If it's you could edit it. But I don't know like what people normally do for the path. It could just be /profile. We can just go for that for now. What else do we want? It would be a place to add a logout link. Any reason to restart rather than eval buffer? I don't know. I wasn't sure if my server procedure was going to reevaluate correctly because of the way that I'm starting up the server. Eric says, how about / who am I? Yeah, that is one possible option. I'll just go with profile for now. Let me go to routes. And in routes, we're going to have another route for profile. Stable routes are the best. Stable meaning like / profile. All right, so views. Profile.sem. So, let's see. We'll figure out which things we need as we get through it, but I'm pretty sure we're going to need to import something. So, actually, let's go ahead and pull in context. So we do need that. And this is profile view context body. I think that's the signature we're using for everything. All right. /u/username /profile. Maybe Glenn. But I prefer to keep things simpler, so maybe I'll just use /profile for now. We'll change it later if we think it's necessary, but at least for now, we'll just do it this way. Capability Snob says, meaning they show the same page regardless of who's looking at them, so having distinct routes for different profiles. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. So for profile view, that's it, right? We want to let context session. And then from that, we assume there already is a session, okay? And I'll show you why in a minute. A soakref context session username. There we go. Let's just start with that. Bad let. Didn't close it off. There we go. Whoops. Bump. Got it. So profile view is now there. Let's go back to routes. We're going to add a little middleware-ish thing here. Define authenticated handler. So here, we're going to make sure, so if context session, actually this is wrong. That's also wrong. Handler. If context session context, then we invoke the handler. Otherwise, we're going to should we return a redirect to the login page? Or just return a message here. Like, let's say, oh, I need to render the page. I didn't do that here either. Oh, site utils or util. Render page. Okay. Title. right. There's that. And then for this, we're going to return values. What is a .scm file, says Klotkop. It is a scheme file. This is the scheme programming language. Capability stop says it should be a 401. The page can do a redirect. But this is a user-facing page. I mean, it could be a 401, but is it going to be the right thing to do? I'm open to changing that for sure. So here, look, authenticated. Profile view, boom. So now we've got a generalized way, in theory, to provide a route handler that is authenticated. Or authorized? I don't know. What's the right term? I'm getting tripped up on these. But either way, it returns a handler that will check to make sure that there is a session attached to the current context, which only shows up if there's a session token that we were able to process. So handler context body. Context session. I need to pull in the context library. Okay. What else? Render page, really? I don't have that here. All right. And then go back to handle request. Re-eval that. Profile view. We didn't pull in profile yet. Okay, so it should work. Let me go to /profile now. All right, so we got a crash, bad response, bad value for header, content type text HTML. I screwed up the formatting here, it looks like. Type. I cannot type. Okay. Oh, did I screw that up? Nope. Content type. Which one is it? That would be in profile, right? Ah, I did put a dot here. Good. URF. Great. That's interesting. So log info session. Oh, maybe I need to re-log in. Capability Snap says, do you have meta /balance to d-abbrev expand? Don't think so. Huh. That's interesting. I've never used that before, actually. I'll have to look that up. Okay, so log info, need to pull in the logger, use module site logger. Got that. Got that. Let's go load the page. Go look at the log. Session expires at username. Okay, the username is in there. So what the hell is the problem? What did I do wrong? Oh. Is it because this is a string? I should probably convert those to symbols because that's going to make it easier for me to reason about. Back in server, when we do the string trim on the key, we should say, whoops, string to symbol, right? Yep, symbol, boom, there we go. So now that's going to make that work correctly, I believe. Still didn't work. That's curious. There's no reason why it shouldn't have, because every time we're parsing the cookie that comes through. Oh. Username false. That's strange. Come on now. Did I not reevaluate this correctly? Parse cookies. Run the map. PK. All right, cool. PK. Let's do a little PK here on parse cookies. Did it work? Doesn't look like it. Is there a PP? Pretty... no. PK. Is PK not the one that does the pass-through logging? Doesn't look like it. Huh. Let's think about this for a second. Why? Clearly, I'm converting this into a symbol, string to symbol. And it's in there. Let me actually remove that so it's not confusing. That's a normal A list, which appear to be symbols, but I'm not 100% certain because I can't tell. Is there a way to print it? Jazzy says PK gets a symbol as a first argument. Second is a value. Okay. Let me try that real fast. Yeah, still didn't seem to print it out. Not sure why. Worth trying though. All right. It should be a symbol. Unless I screwed it up. Parse cookies. Cookies. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Has anything changed here? Cookies session token. Decode session token. Make context. Yeah, we're using parse cookies. That should be fine. Let me just restart the server in case, okay? Shouldn't have to do that. You must log in. That makes sense. Interesting, though. That is telling me that I must log in. Do I not have a cookie? I do have a cookie. So why is it not working anymore? Is it because in the authenticated... Where is it? Routes... Context, session, context. Oh. Is that right? Okay, I'm an idiot. That's all I can say about that. Wrong place. It's wrong. It's not right. It's not what I wanted to do. That's fine. All right, I'm going to restart it again, but I just need to go and take a look at what I'm doing here. So in session... screw it. Whatever, it's fine. So the problem is that I do need to use the string. The key that I'm trying to pull out is coming from the jot token. And the jot token has it as a string inside. So we'll just use a string to index the username. And that was in profile.sem. So not username with a quote. It's going to be username with quotation marks. I'm going to go back into the REPL, restart that, and then reevaluate this, and then reload the page. You are David Will. Okay. So we are able to authenticate against the page and see that it is us, which is good. This is information that's coming from the session token itself. Let's put a link in for logging out. So let's see, how would we do that? I think it would be as simple as responding to a post request on the same page, on the same path, let's say. Or a different route. So how about go to routes, and there's also a... Go to login.sem. We're going to change this to be login view. I don't know. It's not really a form view. I don't really care. Login view. Define logout view. This is not really going to be anything that fancy. So context body. And it's going to be a post. It could be either. Maybe it doesn't actually matter, because we're immediately going to redirect back to the home page. So I will copy this part. Okay. Let me think about this for a moment. Let's see, cookie. How do I clear the cookie value? Delete, clear. So just set it to an empty string, potentially. HTTP, how to delete cookie. Server side. Sending the same cookie with expires appended will not destroy the cookie. Invalidate by setting an empty value and including an expires field as well. Token equals deleted path slash. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So we just needed to send back an empty string. So where were we doing cookie before? We were doing cookie here. That's great. So we'll do this. And this will now be an empty string, so it doesn't need to be formatted. Okay, and then log out. What do we need to say for log out here? Nothing really. I think log out probably shouldn't even. Maybe Maybe this needs to be an action. It's not really a view per se. It will clear the cookie. This is also going to be an event stream. Yeah, because we do need it to manipulate the Datastar app state. So we don't need a page to be rendered. What we need is to do this kind of business here. So let's copy that one, paste it in. So we're going to merge signals. We're going to make user ID be an empty string. And then we are going to redirect back to the home page in the same way. So that seems to be fine. Logout action. That needs to be public though. Destroy the session. Well, the session is only a token. And I guess that's kind of one problem with using a JOT token. It's because you've already given it to them. And if they still have the cookie, then they could still potentially be treated as being logged in because the cookie has its own expiration value. I'm sorry, the token internally has an expiration value. So there may need to be extra work done here to validate that a session is still active, even if someone has a token that is not expired yet. Also, we haven't dealt with expiry at all either. So let me go back to routes. I need to add a note here. Expire tokens that are no longer valid. Because we haven't done that. That basically we're going to have to change the cookie, I think, and tell them they're not validated. So yeah, here, look. If there's a session, we still need to check to make sure that the token is valid. All right, so we've got logout action here. That seems to be okay. Now, if we go, we also need to go back to the profile page and add a logout button. How was I doing the buttons and the other ones? Button. Okay. Session reuse is also a vulnerability, obscure, but there are some examples where I can convince you to log in with a session I have. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Make sure that all this is lining up correctly. Okay, that looks good. That looks fine. Let's get one more paren here. Reevaluate. Okay, go back to the profile view. You are David Will. Log out. Click log out. I got redirected. Now let's see what I did. I must not be using the session value correctly somewhere. R. Log out in JOT. Okay, so JOT decode. Let me check my cookies. I bet it's because I got an empty string or something. Yeah, empty string. Server. Parse cookies. String split. So which one would it be? Parse cookies, cookie value. If it's an empty string. However, not really, is it? Weird. Doesn't even get there. So decode session and session token. Okay, so there is a session token and session token not. I'm skeptical here. Yeah, the value is quotation marks. Your Royal Deuce says, is it true that real programmers only use Vim? Well, no, because I'm using Emacs. Okay, so jot decode. We're still seeing this. And session token. Not equal session token. I gotta start the server again. I needed to bust this Lambda out. Because it needs to be reloadable. Alright, we're gonna do this. Should have done it to begin with. Even that doesn't help, does it? There's too much indirection here. I feel like this is going to be slow. Maybe I'm wrong. A lot of logic getting crammed in here. Probably there's a better way to design this. All right, so I think that actually fixed the problem. So cookie session token is just empty value. All right, so cookie, we can take that back out now. Let's go back into the REPL. I think we're good. We're almost finished here for what we wanted to do today. So I'll reeval this, reeval server handler, go refresh the page, boom. So log in, put in username, password. Oh, actually, let's go to profile page first. Profile. You must log in. Okay, good. So it does say that. I'm going to log in. It's going to redirect me to home. My username shows up here. I should probably turn that to a link to the profile page. Let's go do that real fast. Template. Ooh. Interesting. We're going to switch that to be in the A href. And we're going to steal this bit here. Whoops. All right. I got the A here. We're going to drop the data text in and then start it off with an empty string. There we go. I think that does it. Let's reload the page. Now it gives me a link to profile. Click profile. You are David Will. Click log out. It goes back to the main page. Okay, I think we're good. We got a whole login flow now. Cool. So now that we are logged in, we can we can't yet because I haven't added the functionality, but now we have the ability to do things on behalf of the user. So back in the code for packages, this create tip logic could now in the future, in a future stream, let's say, create a tip with respect to the current user. Let me think. Session. No, it's not session. Well, I guess it could be. So define public. Not entirely necessary, but it could be something we could use. So let's just prove the point by going to the package view. And where are we handling that? Oh, maybe it's actually tips. So in tips, we're not going to say that it's Frank that created the package tip. It's going to be the session user of context session, CTX. Session user, context session. We need to go pull in use module site context. Use module site session. Okay. Now I can re-eval that. Session, oh, not session user, session user name. Okay. Reload, create tip. This is great. Submit. Okay, author David Will. So at least we have that now. We know that I'm logged in as my account. And we can create something with my account. That's not actually being stored in the database yet, but it will be. So I feel pretty good about this. I think that in 2.5 hours, we were able to do a more or less complete login session management flow using JOT tokens and Datastar, which went fine. I mean, can't really complain about how that went. I think it went pretty good. Didn't have to do really that much on the client side either. It was all just HTML, which is cool. All right, so let me put that in the show notes, or the Crafter Hours log, let's say. So what do we do today? We implemented a full login, logout flow. Used JOT tokens to store session details. Added an authenticated wrapper for abstracting session checks in handlers. All right. So next time, we should probably implement, I'm gonna put this in the backlog, implement proper session expiration. What else did we have left over from today? Expire tokens, multiple cookie values, enter headers. Don't really care too much about that right now. Load from environment variable. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we probably do need to put that in there. So I'm gonna put that in the list. Load session token secret from an environment variable, etc. It could be a file, I don't know. Okay. What do we want to do next time? Sebeka says, what is this category of streaming called on YouTube? Each time I want to have some company, I only get up all those lo-fi girls with music. I don't know. I don't even know what category. I mean, it's like software development, but I don't know if I haven't really looked at the live streaming categories on YouTube, so I don't know exactly what it shows up as. All right. So yeah, what do we want to do next time? I mean, I think we can continue on the path of adding functionality. We can finish true tip authoring experience with database interaction. Let's call it that. Add markdown formatting for tip text. Add tip voting. Add author details page. List which packages they wrote maintained. Did we have that already? Add author details page. List which packages they wrote maintained. I don't know. Query parameter handling into a module. We kind of did that into a function. I don't really care about that right now. All right. So tip voting. Yeah, how do we make this more interesting? that's sort of one of the core features of the site is you go to a package that you like and you write tips for it. But there's also the other part, allow user to select which packages they personally use. Because once they start selecting their packages, or at least, just on a basic level, being able to self-identify which packages you personally use in your configuration. Also, add link to users Emacs config repo in profile. Then we can start using that information to get counts of popularity of packages, or say which packages are most commonly used together, that kind of thing. So we can do some interesting stuff with that information once we get it. So I think that's the good path to go on, because then we start getting to the point where the site functionality has some amount of value. Then we can polish it up a little bit and then do a first deployment and see how it works in the real world. So that could be pretty cool. Then we have to start being a little bit more careful with database changes. We have to do migrations, but that's going to be fun, I think. I'm not worried too much about migrations. Okay, cool. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here today. Really appreciate your time and attention. Hopefully that was fun and interesting on some level. Yeah, we'll see you back here on Wednesday around the same time, 7:30 a.m. UTC, provided that I don't have another sick kid situation this week, but I think it'll be fine. So anyway, until next time, happy hacking. We'll see you.